G'day, everyone. Welcome to the Poker Pulse podcast. We have a special jam-packed episode for you. We're back. It's been about a month. And as you can see, I'm joined by our fabulous co-hosts, Catherine Young and Troy McLean. And our very special guest who's kind enough to join us on the podcast, fresh off his third Centurion win. That's Australian pro Nathanial Hutton. How are you, Nathanial?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on. It's long time viewer, first time caller, so keen to get into it.
Yeah, we did have you on back when we had Lachlan Crilly on the show, didn't we? You did a bit of a perfect pair segment. That was one of our first ones of that, so you had a bit of fun there. And yeah. I wanted to also clarify, you are actually in fact an Aussie, aren't you? Because on your hand and mob, it does say you're from New Zealand.
No, I can confirm I am Australian. So my first ever result that was recorded on Hendon was an online tournament. And on GG, even if you're Australian, it shows up that you're a Kiwi. So if you look up my residence, it's Adelaide, New Zealand. So yeah, we always joke I'm a Kiwi, but no, fully Australian.
Probably the only person on Hendon Mob that's from Adelaide, New Zealand, I reckon.
It's a unique one for sure.
Yeah, well, before we get into it, I just wanted to mention the Australian Poker Schedule website. It's the website that I run. Of course, you can find all the up-and-coming series around Australia. I've got quite a few in 2026 already on there. And, yeah, you can check out all the information that you need if you're in New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, or South Australia, Adelaide. Plenty of events on there, and I've actually given the website a bit of a refresh lately. So if you haven't checked that out, get on there. And there's going to be some big news in relation to that in a couple of weeks' time. We might give a bit of a spoiler. But yeah, as I said, we've got a huge episode. We've got plenty to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple of the posts that have been coming up on Facebook recently, some hot topics. Of course, the APL Rake, it's been quite topical. Joel Williams actually put a post up yesterday on the page. We've got about 211 comments they got there. And every time I've watched it, I've had to watch like an ad as well. So they're obviously making some money out of that as well, which is good to see. Monetizing their Facebook channel. So that's good. We're going to talk about some of the WSOP circuit coming up. That's at the Gold Coast Star. There's a few series elsewhere, Play Live. We might mention the MGA one they've got down there in Melbourne. We thought we'd do our first hand history this episode, so it'd be interesting to see what people in the comments think about that. As always, if you can, like and subscribe. It's a no rake subscription on YouTube. Zero costs, won't cost you a cent. You just have to tick that like button. We really appreciate it, and subscribe. It's free forever. So, yeah, get hold of that. But first of all, I wanted to obviously talk to our guest, Nathanial. I like to ask our guests sort of how you got into poker and all that sort of stuff. You know, like we obviously like to promote the channel and promote poker. So, yeah, tell us just about how you got into it and how you're finding it. Obviously, we see you're doing well, but it's obviously a tough grind. You know, you've gone pro now. You made that decision at some stage. So, yeah, let us know about that.
Yeah, so I guess for anyone that might not know me, my name is Nathaniel. I'm 26 years old. I've been playing full-time for just under 2 years. I got into poker in Adelaide, the Australian one, not the Kiwi one, in early 2019. So my stepdad, who originally hails from the UK, he likes playing the pub games around the scene. He moved to Australia in about 2014. So he was hosting a home game and needed a couple extra players. I didn't really know much about poker, but I'd always kind of played card games and stuff with my family growing up. Very competitive environment. So I always enjoyed doing that. I remember searching how you're supposed to play poker, what the hand rankings are before my first game, and I'm like, all right, a flush beat to straight, I'm pretty sure. So learned that, and then played the sit and go with with my stepdad, a couple of family members, a couple of friends. Just had a really good time. Really enjoyed playing the cards. Really enjoyed playing the competition. I think I won one of the sit and goes we had, so that was fun as well. And then I think I made about $50 by the end of the night, and I was pretty happy with that. I was in my last year of uni at the time. So, $50 wasn't bad at the time. Looked up, hey, I really enjoy playing poker. Is there a way I can play online? For those that don't know about, the history of online poker in Australia, it was unfortunately banned by then. But there are a couple of sites you can play. One of them I found was called Ignition Casino. So I deposited that $50 I won and immediately lost it. Straight away, I think I played one tournament, lost, and it was gone. But I was already hooked by then. So spent the first year of my poker journey kind of playing pub games, playing very small stakes online, like $1 tournaments. But yeah, just really enjoyed it, and I guess kept grinding mostly online while I was living in Adelaide. Eventually started moving up in stakes a bit with a couple good scores here and there. Moved to Brisbane at the end of 2021. Again, played another couple of years of, a little bit more live poker, but, not too much of it, mostly online. And then, yeah, I guess I had a couple personal things happen in my life, which was kind of making me rethink my, life priorities about what I wanted to actually, get out of my life. And I was going really well at poker. So I was like, stuff it, let's give it a go for 6 months. Put aside some living expenses, had a pretty small bankroll. That was going into the start of last year. And I guess, yeah, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of success since then. So, journey's been pretty good so far. Lots of ups and downs, but hopefully I can keep doing it a few more years.
We can see quite a lot of the ups behind you, actually. You've got your trophies there.
Yeah.
Prime view, that's great. Kathy, you got some questions for Nathaniel?
Yeah, I didn't realize that you'd only just gotten like committed to it last year. Like, it's actually crazy because we know all about you and we've heard about all your results, and it's just crazy to think that that's kind of what you've achieved in just such a short period of time. Like, how did you go from the man before committing to it full time to then like just this who you are today?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, I mean, I found myself being like really passionate about poker. I really loved thinking about the game, playing a lot. So I was playing, an unbelievable amount of online tournaments, maybe like 2021, 2022. Lifetime I probably played about 40,000 tournaments, which plenty of people have played more, but like it's a decent number. And that and coupled between study and reviewing other people's play and having a really great network of friends where I can bounce ideas off, that for sure helped me improve a lot. And so at the end of 2023, that's when I decided to make the plunge. So it's been about 2 years now playing full time, but lots of ups and downs, but it's been a great journey overall.
Well, that's a relief because I thought last year, was that when you went heads up with me and you beat me heads up in the APT main event? Was that last year?
I do recall that, yeah, at that APT main event.
That's right, so you were a pro last year?
Very loosely, yeah. Well, but if that makes you feel better, yeah, I was a pro.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have been beaten twice heads up in a main event by an amateur because Jen Castle, who was a dealer, not sure if you've heard of her, Jennifer Castle. Just some dealer beat me heads up in the Gold Coast main event too. So I got beaten fair and square by a professional. I was the underdog. And
you don't need to worry about that one. Yeah. You get a free pass for that.
Yeah. So you obviously, we've seen you on the circuit. You've been on just about, I don't know, half a dozen or more streams I've seen you on this year alone. Obviously had the Centurion wins. You went up to the Ville. We see you in Brisbane. We see you at Sydney. What sort of, do you look at when you're choosing to play a series or an event? Like, is that something that you, as a pro, you have to look at, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love playing poker regardless. I love competing. It's not fun every day when you're in a down swing or something like that. But every day I still love what I do. But obviously as a professional, I need to make money. So I look at mostly the stakes that are being played. I prefer to play, I guess, an average buy-in of around 1K, 1,500, maybe towards 2Ks. So certainly the biggest series with bigger buy-ins I'm more keen for. But obviously there are other factors like field sizes, location, cost of getting to the series, cost of being at the series. The R word as well, Rake. I'm sure we'll touch on that at some point as well. That's a pretty important consideration for me. So yeah, definitely a few factors, but basically playing within my bankroll and playing games that I think, hopefully long term I'll be profitable in.
But initially you would have started at some of the mid stakes ones too, right? So I think the APT main, which I was speaking about, where you beat me heads up, that's like a 600. But even You've got trophies there, I'd imagine, at $350, $450 buy-ins. So, you know, you would have looked at that when you were coming up. Now, obviously, it's more 1K plus. You know, that's where you make your hourly. But
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I've grinded from straight up free rolls, $1 tournaments online up to, I guess the biggest buy-in I've played to the 10K main at in Vegas this year. So that's been my range so far. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, I can move up in stakes a bit, start playing high rollers more consistently, you know, globally. But yeah, I've played every stakes possible in Australia, and yeah, hopefully, you know, looking forward to continuing that.
I was going to ask about Vegas. I mean, was this your first international poker trip?
Yes. Yeah, I'd never traveled anywhere outside of Australia before, so jumped straight into the deep end. It was kind of funny. Like when you play in Australia, you play up to maybe like 2.5Ks consistently, and you know you're kind of the big dog for playing those stakes. But you go to Vegas, and that's like, you know, the very bottom of the buying range. You can get pretty much. You can get smaller tournaments, but like, you know, you see people playing like 250K US buy-ins. It's like, wow, you know, the scale is crazy.
And I remember reporting on Australian Poker Schedule, wouldn't have been more than a week, and you were there, and you'd won
right at the start,
a small mixed game or something. Was that stud? Was it or?
Yeah, it was a stud and stud 8, which is the stud high-low version. It was a mix of that, and I've got the trophy in the background. You can see it. It's the one that lights up actually. Yeah, I think that was like my second or third day in Vegas, so it was a pretty bad trip overall. I'll say that now, but it was a great start to the series.
Yeah, it's good to see you jump in the mix. I've seen you, you know, playing the 8 game and the 9 game and the horse and that around Australia, and obviously over there you had a crack too. And there's so much choice over there, so that's good to see. It's good to see you're versatile.
Do you have any plans to go overseas and play any other of maybe the Asian stops or anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess given the current, you know, market considerations that again might be discussed later, I think I'll be forced to go play Asia a lot more often. I'm also keen to start playing some higher stakes as well, so I guess Asia seems like a pretty good place to go do it. So for sure, look forward to traveling to, you know, Taiwan, Vietnam, Korea, all that, you know, coming into the new year.
I mean, it probably helps for you to be able to play bigger stakes now that you just won the craziest mystery bounty I've ever possibly seen in my life. Just cracking a gold chest, knocking out Greg Goes All In. I mean,
your scream when you win, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's the reaction we need.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, I guess if people have seen me around the tour playing live games, I'm not the biggest celebrator in the world. You know, I very much acknowledge that for there to be a winner, there has to be a loser as well. And I know what the losing side of it feels like. So I try not to be too crazy, even if I win a big tournament alive. But yeah, the buy-in for that tournament was $215 US. So around low $300 Australian. And then, yeah, just knock someone out, chop the bounty. So both of us knocked the same guy out with the same hands. You know, it comes up gold chest. I'm like, oh wow, what a sweat. You know, not really believing it could be that, and then I just saw it come up on the screen, and you know, that's one I'll celebrate. I'm happy to celebrate that.
Yeah, the mystery bounties, as we were talking about with a couple of episodes ago with Josh McSweeney, like the mystery bounty is not really a winning prospect in the sense that you could play the mystery bounty 1,000 or 10,000 times and never get a big chest. You know, like. There's just that luck element, you know, like it's that, and that's what's attractive about it, you know, like.
Yeah, it's probably not the best format of poker. I like the idea of it that some series.
It's the attraction, you know, like that's what it's for the ecosystem,
that's
you know,
exactly
to get direction. Yeah. But for you,
that's exactly it. You can turn $200 into, you know, 100K if you just get lucky. So that's for sure attractive to lots of players, and you know that's why the field's always so big when it comes to mystery bounties.
I mean, your good mate Curly could play that bounty tournament every week for the rest of his life and never get that, you know. And he's just as good as you know, as you know. And yeah, so no, that's great. I love to see that, especially someone you know getting it. You know, that's good.
Yeah, that's just the thing. It's like I feel like in my experience, you know, nobody I know ever wins those big ones. It's always just some complete random that pulls the massive ones. So certainly happy for that to be me on Sunday night.
Well, I got one on Sunday night as well, but I only got 450. Rip.
$400 bounty, yeah, that's pretty good. That's good for you, Troy. Up swinging.
Congratulations,
guys! He's back.
Is that 2 buy-ins?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Awesome.
2 weeks
It's not
worth of runs over an
150k
acre.
worth, but still, it'll do.
You're doing good. You'll be able to move to Thailand with your 2 weeks rent already paid for.
That's it. That's it.
And lastly, yeah, obviously your Centurion wins. You've got 3 of those. I don't believe anyone else in Australia has ever done that. It'll probably happen, in the next few years. Someone else will do that as well. But do you sort of, how do you feel about that? Do you sort of see yourself as a bit of a Centurion Phil Hellmuth in terms of chasing being he's with WSOP bracelets, like Centurion trophies?
Hopefully, I don't invite comparisons to Phil Hellmuth. That's definitely not
I
what
agree.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels good to win 3. I mean, I'll be the first to say, 1, you need a lot of luck to win any tournament. 2, the fields are quite small. Like, I'd rather win the Centurion at APL Millions, for example, and win 300k than win 3 for maybe like 120k total. So, I mean, obviously pretty proud of it. It's a pretty cool achievement, but I think when the fields are small, it's typically you'll see a few more multiple time winners. So for sure we'll see other people come up with that in the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing achievement. I thought so. Yeah, you could be the APL Phil Hellmuth and go for 17 Centurions. That'd be pretty cool. Or Jack Stars, majors even. Like obviously you got that APT. Man, you got your banner on the ceiling at every Australian poker tour. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I got a few things going for sure. No, yeah, I got very lucky in that heads up. But no, I mean, I've been very fortunate over my short career. So again, hopefully continue doing that the next few years.
Yeah, hopefully it continues. As I said earlier, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And I just wanted to mention something with one of our subscribers. So it was yesterday. I was catching an Uber from Southport back home because it was absolutely raining cats and dogs. So I jumped in an Uber, took the easy option. First Uber, looked down, it was some silver Camry or whatever, as they usually are. And anyway, I looked back down at my phone 5 minutes later. I'm like, where is this guy? And it's changed. Like, this Uber must have cancelled. It's now a Tesla 3 model, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Been upgraded. Anyway, so the guy pulls over and I jump in the back seat. Sit down, I'm just sort of looking at my phone, sending messages, probably talking to Troy and Kathy about the podcast or something. And about 5 minutes into the trip, I look up, and above the mirror on his car, I see the APL Million patch, like the ones Jackie Glazier wears. And I'm like, oh, this guy must play poker. So I said to him, oh, what's the patch about, man? Like, you're obviously a poker player, yeah? And he goes, oh, yeah, I play a little bit of poker. He goes, I had this poker series at the Sharks Club where I work at a couple of months ago. And I'm like, and he pulled down his sun visor, and he had the Australian poker schedule game of fantasy. He had 2 team patches stuck on next to his mirror. And he goes, yeah, they had this fantasy there. It was really cool. They had this live draft and you could watch it. And my friend, he was in the bucket hats, And I said, oh, you mean, was that George Zhang? And he goes, yeah, George, do you? I said, yeah, I know George. I've spoken to him a bit. And then, anyway, I'm sitting behind the passenger seat, and he points over to the front of the passenger seat on the dashboard, and right in the middle of the dashboard, he goes, yeah, and there's this podcast that they do as well. It's called the Poker Pulse Podcast, and he's got a patch of the Poker Pulse Podcast right in the middle of the dash, like anyone that sits in that passenger seat just like bang in front of him. And I'm like, oh, really? I said, that's the podcast. I said, I do that. Do you recognize me? And he goes, oh, yeah, you're the guy, because I wasn't wearing my hat, so that's crazy, So I said to him, I had a chat to him on the way home, and he said he doesn't play. He plays a little bit, but he's a security guard at Sharks, and this is sort of his second job, so he doesn't get that much time to play. But no, we had a good old chat, and it was just a funny thing, So he said he enjoys watching the podcast. I want to shout out to him. I think his name was Nandal. Yeah, nice chap. And it was just a funny story, I thought, I couldn't believe it. So if you see him getting his Tesla 3 and you see the APL Million patch, say good day to him. I'm sure you'll watch the podcast, and shout out to him.
Shout out, Nandal.
Also, another quick story. I'm not sure if you heard, the Melbourne Cup was on recently. Troy, did you back a winner? Anyone here back a winner? No? Didn't back a winner? Remember who the winner was?
Tony G's horse.
Yeah.
I don't know the name. I know it's Tony G's horse.
Half yours, yeah. It won the Caulfield Cup, and it also won the Melbourne Cup. And it was owned, at least part owned, by Tony G, Australian Poker Hall of Famer. So I thought that was interesting. Good to see, someone that needs it. Apparently, I read one of the stories on it, and no, he's a funny guy. He's a champion. He's from Lithuania, but he moved to Melbourne, played a lot of his poker in Melbourne, and obviously been the Melbourne Cup. He's always wanted to win it. That's his dream, he said. So he's obviously, I'm not sure how many horses he's had, but he finally got there. So congrats to Tony G. Shout out to him. Maybe we'll get him on the podcast one day. What do you reckon, Troy? It'd be pretty cool.
Would be nice.
Maybe he subscribes.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's watching right now.
If you know him, if you're good mates with him, let him know. We'd love to have him on the show. All right, then. Well, I guess the elephant in the room, you mentioned earlier, Nathaniel, you're talking about, rake is a consideration when you go to a series. We saw, obviously, the APL. Now, a bit of a timeline to what sort of happened here in terms of the Australian poker schedule and what I got up to. So I was sort of partnering with the Australian Poker League for a while, but what I do is I promote the series for them, and I've been doing that for the APL Million. I did a post for the Centurion and the Jackstar for the Kedron Wavell APL PT that came up in Brisbane not long ago. And before I do a post, I sort of like to do analysis. So I was about to do one for the other guaranteed events like the Monster Stack and the High Roller and the Six Max and these sort of events. And then I noticed that they'd put the rake up. I was a bit shocked by it. I'm like, it's a bit high, So I just casually sent them an email and said, look, I'm going to find it hard. Like, I've done the analysis and I'm sort of going to find it hard to sort of, put a positive spin on this. Like, I'm going to look like a bloody idiot if I say, to more rake, So I just said, look, I probably can't promote this one. And they also, said, look, we're trying to cut back on costs a bit as well. So we'll probably stop the partnership, which wasn't much anyway. Like, to be honest, it's like $100, $150 a series sort of thing or a week. So it's not a lot, but anyway.
Why are they trying to cut on costs? Okay. No,
so that's interesting. So look, it's up on my website, the prices that I charge to, promote a series. It's not a lot. It's just like something to get something back for the website, so.
That was just after APL Millions where they raked like how
That's
much?
what I mean. This is my head's ticking, and I'm trying to piece this together. And I'm like,
and I ran the fantasy there, and
the APL Millions.
Yeah, it was just it was a bit. No, like they said, look, not immediately. It was sort of after Townsville. They said we'd do it, but I said, look, we might have to. I'd find it difficult to promote it because those rate increases went through to Townsville as well. I said, look, I'm going to have trouble promoting this because of whatever. So then a few weeks later, I made this Tay Tay video clip called "Rake It Up." Spent a bit of time doing it. I was quite proud of myself.
Any names? No names.
Didn't mention APL, didn't mention the Star, didn't mention anyone, just mentioned the rake, just mentioned the costs going up, just saying I don't care that it's not beatable, bad luck. Anyway, that night I got a message from on Facebook from one of the Queensland state managers I looked up on LinkedIn, Sean Everett, and he said, Craig, I've let my TDs know you're not to be seated at any tournament until we speak. There's better ways to have gripes than the way you're doing it. And I was like, what? I'm replied back, so I'm banned from APL, am I? It's like, no, you're definitely not banned. You're not banned. And I'm like, well, it sounds like I'm banned if I can't register for a tournament and you've told all your TDs. And then I had another TD reach out to me and say, I just got notified in our page that you're not to be registered until further notice. And I'm like, well, it sounds like a ban to me. So anyway, lots of people have been commenting too at this stage about Kedron Wavell. When they put that, I saw lots of people. I sent a message. I said, are these guys are going to get a ban too, or told that they can't play until they speak to you? Oh, no, they're all right. It's your history. You've got a history of this stuff, Craig. So, like, oh, right, yeah. Okay, yeah. So anyway, look, I mean, I don't know if I'm banned. I don't think I'm banned. I'm pretty sure it's all sweet now. I'm pretty sure if I rocked up, they wouldn't ban me because it'd be on video, it'd be going viral, it'd be on the YouTube channel, it'd be on everything, it'd be Facebook Lives, the current affair would be there, so I'm pretty sure they won't be banning me. But anyway, the rake. It's been a bit of a talking point lately. What are your thoughts? Who wants to start?
Look, can we let the 200 comments speak for themselves? I mean, they put up the schedule for day 1 and 2 of Sydney. And like reading those comments was like just going to the movie cinemas and eating a bag of popcorn. It was juicy. It was delicious. And everyone's of the same. For once in my life, I am so happy that like poker players are finally speaking their mind, and not only speaking their mind, but voting with their feet, because I witnessed less runners than I've ever witnessed before. I witnessed people who did not travel for the series, refused to travel. I mean, Troy didn't travel to Townsville for this exact reason. He was going to. He didn't go to Townsville because he wasn't okay with the rake. I mean, that is fair. And so I love that now it's not just a matter of like people saying that they're angry about the rake, but actually doing something about it, because I think that if all we do is just say, oh, this is annoying, but we just keep playing, like it's not going to do much. But to actually see poker players take a stand on this I think it was good, and I think it showed, and that's I think what led to the video, the video that went up by Joel Williams with the response, and then from that part, I mean,
well, I just wanted to sort of say, well, with the video, look, to be fair, like, I mean, when an operator comes up and does that, I think that's a positive thing, that they come out and they sort of admit there's been sort of an error and they make changes and they try and fix it. In this instance, I think it sort of just made it a bit worse in the sense because the changes are just so minimal and they don't even make it any better anyway, really, like if you actually think about it. So in this case, it's but I didn't think there'd be any changes at all. I didn't think the rake would change at all. So it's changed a little bit, but it sort of gives me confidence that if players do sort of, make their comments and, carry on.
Facts.
What do you
think?
They
were doing the math. They're working out how much rake was being made. I mean, APL won the main event. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. Congratulations,
so
APL. They should get the trophy, 57,120 in rake, and then second went to the winner who got 56,000. So 1,000 less. Do you want to sort of say something about that, Nathaniel? Because you're the pro on the circuit. Troy, you as well. I want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting one. So, like, I mean, I knew coming onto this podcast I was going to be asked about it, and like, I've had a long think about what to say, and I still don't really know what I'm supposed to say. Like, I mean, I guess I can talk in numbers. That's kind of the way I operate. So over the past 2 years, just with APL, I put in roughly 200K in buy-ins. So that's pretty high volume. I'd say I'm one of the highest volume players on tour. I play all the stakes from, self-dots and Townsville up to 2.5Ks, 5Ks, whatever I can get my hands on. I love playing APL. It's where I started. It was where my first game was. I've always enjoyed playing APL. Obviously, some experiences aren't always amazing, but you get that with any poker tour. So if I put 200K in buy-ins in just 2 years, that's, roughly 30K in a rake. I don't keep track of my rake data. And, it just kind of feels like I've been abandoned. Like, I've tried with Jackie, I've tried with Joel, I've tried with, other people in APL. And I think the individual people for the most part at APL are pretty good, but like, there just seems to be this invisible hand. And I mean, at this, I assume it's Joel that's the hand, but it could be Entain. He certainly likes to hide behind Entain and say, it's not my fault. There's nothing I can do. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm not sure I could beat a 290 plus 70. I don't think I could. I've got one of the best track records on tour. Certainly not saying that with arrogance and whatnot. It's just the results. I'm not sure I can beat the travel rake, the regular rake, and the real tournaments. And it's becoming a really complicated thing. Like, I feel I'm being pushed to Asia, pushed to pursue stakes in Asia that are at least reasonably raked. But there was one thing that I saw that Joel said in his video, and I mean, we can take some positives from this. It was a really, really funny video. So, Joel's done well with that. I had a good laugh at it. So did others. He said over the past 4 years, cost of running tours has gone up, 33 to 66%. And I mean, we know how the cost of living's changed. I don't disagree with the numbers at all. But for what reason then are we maintaining the same stakes? Why is it so criminal that we turn a 450 into a 550 over 4 years? At some point things have to inflate. Otherwise, we're just playing for less money with more rake. And I don't see an environment where players can continue winning. So I don't think I'll be playing much APL anymore unless it's in Southeast Queensland. Maybe like an APL 600 at Sydney, I could see possibly happening, but I just have to look elsewhere at this point. I can't beat the rake. And I mean, if I can't beat the rake, what does that say about the average recreational? They're drawing dead.
I think that's the real issue, right? It's like, as professional poker players, we can understand how all the rake works and we can understand all that. But the people that don't, that are just there to have a bit of fun, it's their weekly, they get out, they jump into 350. They're just getting, it's not even fair. Like, they're better off just go and play the pokies, like where they know that they're going to lose the money, right? It's like, it's just,
because I know
that's what I think the real issue is.
Yeah.
The people who aren't educated about this kind of stuff,
they're not there to.
I wouldn't
like,
sort of
they're a
say they're
business.
better. I mean, obviously, I know you don't mean that literally, but you're better off playing the
Yeah,
pokies. But in
I think so.
in terms of the
APL
in terms of the
business.
loss rate, the actual commission that you lose on pokies may be less, but a lot of people play these games too for the entertainment, right? So they go, well, I get if I spend $460 and 80 of it's going to Rake or whatever, that entertains me for 8 hours. So I'm going to lose 460 on the pokies over 8 hours. God knows how much you'd lose, but it'd probably be more. But overall, like over your lifetime, because the rakes, the commission on pokies is less, you're probably actually going to lose less. So,
but you've got to remember, it's an ecosystem, right? So so we've got recreational players who aren't understanding that they are they're losing, that they cannot, and therefore it becomes unsustainable in the long term for them because they'll continue to play these buy-ins. And then they'll lose the money won't be going through the ecosystem. And then not only that, we then got the pros who aren't going to be playing anymore. And if they choose to not play, then it becomes this whole situation of like recreational players who are playing and can't afford to anymore because they're just losing all the money, and then pros who aren't even like feeding in and playing either. And so is there really there's got to be a line here where APL says, what's the point in charging more in Rake when we're literally losing all of our customers? There has to be more. Yeah.
Just to that point, I mean, Canterbury ran a series last week. They barely got a Centurion up. Took to a day two. They got 40 runners. Great. Not a big field, right? But literally the week before, they ran the series at Kings, a 2K main, 500 runners, something like that. So the players have money. They just don't want to play it. Support a brand that doesn't care about them. The thing that irks me about all of this is that the solutions are so simple. One, make the six max of 600. Playing shorthanded is a privilege, not a right, especially in this dealer dealt context. Same with the main. Obviously it makes it a bit more expensive, but at least the games become beatable. If not, at least incentivize regs to come. I know in Asia there's a lot of, if you pre-reg for all the high rollers, you'll get a couple nights free in a hotel room or something like that, or even a rake back system where if you're putting tons of volume in, like myself or other grinders on the circuit, you at least get a little bit of a rebate at the end. But no, they just don't seem to care at all. They assume that everyone's going to keep coming and playing, and I mean, by the sounds of things, that's less and less likely to be the case.
And I mean, what you said earlier, if you're not beating the game right, you've won 3 Centurions, however many other APL trophies. If you're choosing not to play some of these games, that's what more needs to be said, right?
Well, before I went to Townsville, I only went to Townsville because a friend of mine was going. He doesn't get to play them, poker all the time. Recreational, works a full-time job, so I would have cancelled the trip as well. But I'm like, whatever. But I was messaging clearly, close mate, of course. I don't think I'm going to win at this series. It's not a plus EV series to play, and obviously things worked out. But I knew it was a punt to turn up. It wasn't a good financial decision. It's worked out for me, great, but people are very results oriented with that. I don't think I'm a winning player of 100 trips to Townsville. It just doesn't make sense with all the costs.
A trip to Townsville costs $2,000 if
it's
more.
expensive. Yeah.
It's flights, and the accommodation's not cheap unless you want to go budget. But then you've got to add the travel to and from the Ville every day, food. I mean, it's a costly trip. And
I have my accommodation booked for Townsville, and I just cancelled because APL just raked I played, I don't even know, 50K worth of buy-ins at APL Millions, maybe it wasn't that much. Maybe it was 40K. If 25 or if 20% of that was just to Rake, then I paid, infinite amount of Rake just at APL Millions, and then they increased their Rake again.
And what about this? What about this scenario too, Troy? So you played 40K worth of buy-ins at APL. A lot of people do. A lot of people sell action too, right? So you and most pros will sell at some sort of markup as well, right? So for a backer, it's even worse, right? Because they've got to beat the Rake and they've got to beat the markup, right?
Yeah.
So if it's 25% rake, and your horse is selling at 1.1, you got to beat 35%. You're not doing that, right? Nathaniel's not doing that.
Yeah.
You're not doing that. Like, it's just.
I mean, I can't speak for all pros.
We could be debating that, but it's like, yeah.
I'll say I don't personally sell action when I'm playing in Australia. I just take the brunt of it, whether it's wins or losses. But I've seen that myself. I've seen less backers in the market backing, people wanting to come up because they recognize as well there's less money in the game.
Yeah, a lot of the money that goes into the APL prize pools and all over Australia, sorry, not just APL, and the ecosystem is backers' money as well because players sell. So that's just another consideration. Just to sort of wrap up on the APL, because there's other things to talk about as well. I made a comment on the initial post that they made that a few people were blowing up about, not the video. Joel messaged me straight away. He's, look, let's have a chat. Let me know when you're available. I had a chat. And he basically wanted to explain and justify what it is. And look, I thank you for that. Like, he's very generous with his time. But at the end of the day, it's just, they're not changing, they're not getting the right solutions. And one of the things
what was said in that meeting? What was said in that phone call?
To sort of paraphrase as best I can, it was basically, look, the 90% of the poker players that are at APL would rather pay the 400 plus 80, which is the change that they've made, than increase the buy-in with it and make it like a 680, right? They'd reckon that most of the poker players that they have, most of their customers would rather keep the buy-in the same and just have the rate percentage go up, right? So look, that's a business decision, but it just frustrates me because poker is meant to be a beatable game, and as we know, that is not beatable, right? And it's just craziness. And to paraphrase Joel, sort of the obligation of APL is to provide a product to their customers that their customers will play. And that's a 400 plus 80. It's not to provide a 600 plus 80 or a 700 plus 80 for the regs, because they're not obligated to make the games beatable for regs. They're obligated to make the games for their customer base, which is the recreationals and all that.
Does the customer base understand that not only the rake is high, but the structure? When we talk about rake, we look at structure, and then that's why some of the self-doubts are horrific with the rake that they charge, because not only is it a self-doubt that really shouldn't have this high rake, it has a high rake that becomes even more unbeatable because of the horrific structures. And it's like, if you're going to put the rake up and still have the same bad, hunty structures, then it really does become the most unbeatable game in the world. Because you're playing a game that already is hard and high variance. Structure, it has to go into consideration with rake as well, I believe. I really do think that you have to look at both rake and structure in order to determine whether that game makes it beatable. Because, when you think about the Centurion, I would pay that amount of rake for the structure that's provided with the Centurion. I think that is one of the best games and the best value because of what you're paying for. I think you're actually getting value for money there. You're getting a good structured game. You've got high experienced dealers, and you've got a game that's that I believe is a little bit more beatable than a game that's got a punty structure. Look at the APL Million. They had those $10 10-minute turbo games that had what was this? The rake was craziness. It was 25% or 20% rake in a 10-minute turbo self-dealt where you're getting 3 or 4 hands of blind level, and it's you understand you can't win there, right? You do understand that, right? You cannot. No, it's just a punt. No player isn't winning in that field. I don't care who you are. It's unbeatable.
Look, no, it's good you mentioned the structures, Kathy, because I sort of want to use that as a bit of a segue to talk about just quickly the WSOP circuit events at the Gold Coast. Now, the Star, it's great that they bring the WSOP over. It gives the opportunity for Australians to win a WSOP ring. They can then qualify to go to Vegas and play in the Tournament of Champions over there, which has happened before. I know guys like Adam Thagard, Jacob Fall. That's all well and good. But all the ring events are sort of over $1,000 or $1,200. So for me, who's a local on the Gold Coast, I'd love to play for a WSOP circuit ring, or at least be part of the schedule. So they have the satellites and that, and I've done all the satellites before. Maybe that's what I'll do. but I'm certainly not going to play what their side events, which they've got. And they've got, so not only is their rake high, but their structures are horrid. So you've got 300 plus $65 15-minute blinds, all right? So that's worse than APL. APL is at least 20 and 25-minute blinds. Some are half an hour for that extra rake. So that's why recreationals and that will keep turning up. I'd still turn up. If I've only got $4.60 to spend, I would still go and play like maybe one event. I go, okay, look, I'm not winning long-term, but I'm not playing long-term. Like, I'm just going to play. But a 15-minute blind structure, I don't want to play $65 rake, 300 plus 65, 15 minutes. They've got a 600 plus 80, which is 12-minute blinds, right? Now, I had a look. If you jump on, download the WSOP Plus app, which is a fantastic app for the WSOP. Nathaniel would attest to that when he was over there. Well, the WSOP circuit for the Star is all through that app too, I believe. I'm not sure you can buy in, but all the details are on there. And I went through the last 7 or 8 WSOP circuit stops. You cannot play a 12-minute blind anywhere at any other stop around the world. I mean, 600 plus 80, it's like an Australian unique thing. Congratulations, Australia. Worst, shortest of all the WSOP circuit events in the world. You can't play a 12-minute blind anywhere. It's hard to find.
I'm surprised by this.
15-minute ones, all the 15-minute blinds are satellites, right? And we've got 3 or 4 of these, right? 400 plus 75, you know? So, yeah, it's $5 less rake than the APL, but it's 15-minute crap. Like, I'm not playing it. Sorry, I won't be there. I might go and play a satellite to try and get into the main, which is actually, you know, not the best structure in the world, but it's you know, it's decent. And you can win some big money in a ring, and you can get to Vegas. So
how does it, so the WSOP circuit obviously like travels? I don't understand because they have different games. Like I've seen, like I follow Americans on my Instagram, and I see like they're playing WSOP games, and like the majority of those games are like 300, 400 USD. How can we have just such a, why are all ours high roller craziness when it's all WSOP circuit? Like why is it such a different...
There's a few reasons, but there's obviously other factors there. But the structure, like why are we playing 12-minute and 15-minute blinds?
Yeah.
Like, what's the reason for that? Competent
players? The Stars going bankrupt, so they need to get everyone in and out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the money, like the rake, you know, like it's hard to sort of compare apples for apples, like wages and like all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I just can't understand the blinds, and 12-minute blinds for me is just like piss off. I'm not playing that at all. You wouldn't. I mean, if you free rolled me in, I'd jump in for sure. But yeah, I'm not putting up my own money for that. Yeah, I'm not putting my up money to play 12-minute blinds. So yeah, no.
I mean, the rake across every series is not just APL. It's every series needs to just. We're already like at the maximum amount of rake that we could charge across all platforms.
There's nowhere to go, is there? No, it's sort of at the max.
Like you can keep increasing it. I mean, you're just going to kill poker in Australia. And
that's the biggest reason why we're all speaking up, right? We want to protect poker as a game that is seen as a profitable, like a game that you can beat. You know, not everyone's going to beat poker. Not everyone's good, you know, but at least you've got, you know, you're not just losing by sitting down and buying in. That's the thing we don't want, because that's the same as any other form of gambling, right? Poker we want to keep protected in the fact that it's a game that you can beat, and skill will be the
mind sport.
It's a mind sport, of course. One other thing, just on the Star as well, we saw announced this week, unfortunately, the Brisbane Star Poker Room is no longer doing tournaments. That I saw as a huge shock. That is really disappointing.
It's actually depressing.
It's depressing. It's sad.
I mean, I can tell you why as a Brisbane local. It's because nobody plays them. They just ran a series then and got like 30 runners for every 1K.
Exactly. And they ran these 12-minute, 15-minute line rake traps as well. As soon as they released,
surprises me because Brisbane has such a big poker population of players. Like,
it's ridiculous. You can't blame anything except the operation, because you've got Cyprus, you've got Empire, you've got BPU.
Competition has helped.
You've now got your Queen Bees down the road. Like you've got that many poker games there, and they're all doing great numbers. Why? Because they run structures and tournaments, they listen to their players and they do it, right? The Star, and they're going to hide behind the fact, there's too much regulation, we can't do this to get approval, blah, blah, blah. If you got someone there that actually wants to make it work, they can actually have the argument and they can get this stuff working, right? You don't just throw your hands up in there and go, bugger it. We're just going to have, I mean, You got a $300 plus $65 12-minute blind thing approved. Just get one proved that's not crap, and then people will turn up. And you've got pokies, and you've got accommodation, you've got food. Like, I mean, I don't know if anyone anyone else in Queensland would like to just have access to the exclusive casino license in Brisbane and see if they can run a profitable business. It's just, I don't know.
Did you play any of the series, Nathaniel, in Star Brisbane?
Yeah, well, funny you mention it. So I played the first few events, and I see the runners, and they're not really there. And I'm like, well, all right, we'll go to Townsville early. So it worked out for me in the end. But it was kind of disappointing to see because I don't think the schedule was that bad. Some of the lower events I can understand the reason, but overall, I feel like the events and the structures and the buy-ins were pretty good for a local kind of Brisbane series. So. I mean, I guess based on that, I can see why they've decided to cease operations. I'm sure there are things they could be doing better, but it's just being killed by all the competition, unfortunately.
Wait, wasn't that series cancelled and then
Oh yeah, that was due to they had there was staff strikes and stuff when they
because I was planning on coming to the first one, and then they cancelled it, and then I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, there was industrial action. Not just poker staff, but a lot of staff had a planned strike during that series, so they rescheduled it later. That was behind that.
I'm
But
not
I'm
of competition though. I think when you're saying it happened because of competition, I actually think competition is really good for poker because it's doing is it's allowing you to actually have a much better offering and go where you see the value. Like go to Empire, you'll happily go to Empire instead of a game that is not good. Like if you've got a few options, you choose the best option. And so therefore, if there's lots of competition, all the brands should be working on getting better, not worse.
And the Brisbane Stars got, all these other operators would kill for that venue. It's like $1 billion brand new building. They've got, really, big tables. They've got the chairs. They've got the room looking over the Brisbane River. So it's got to be just the players looking at the game and going, well, that doesn't look appealing to me. I'll play somewhere else, and that's what happens. So it's sad. I mean, I hope they work out a way to get it back because, it's a tragedy for that building, the newest casino in Australia to not have poker. But we'll see. They're under new ownership. But I just thought I'd mention that as well. What we thought we'd try this episode is we might do our first hand review analysis. Troy was quite keen to do this, so we'd be interested to see what people think in the comments. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a hand, which is actually from the 10K GG Millions, which is a weekly event. Is that right, Troy?
Yep.
It actually features someone that plays on the Australian circuit, and we're going to play. They have a mystery hand where they cover up a couple of cards. So
you're playing the hand as Martin Finger.
So it looks like Martin Fingers opened King 7 from the button, four-handed. So there's 364k up top here. And the mystery hand is this Brazilian chap, which I can't pronounce his name. Do you want to have a crack, Troy?
I'm pretty sure his real name's Allison.
Okay, so he's raised, has been called, and big blind defended, didn't he?
Yep, small blind.
Small blind defended, yeah.
Yeah, big blind folded.
So we've got the flop. We've got King of Clubs, 7 of Hearts. There's the flop. King 9-8 with 2 clubs. What do we do? What did you do? Let's go with Nathaniel first. What do you do, Nathaniel?
All right. So firstly, pre-flop seems fine. King 7 obviously on the button, more than good enough four-handed. Coming to the flop, it's pretty interesting in these kind of ICM spots where deciding between checking and betting. I would actually probably lean more towards checking in ICM, but the fact that we cover might impact things. So I think if we choose to bet, something like 30% will be fine. But checking back will be okay too.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want me to play it now, Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to talk too much because
Found the check.
Check. Seems fine. Pretty good hand now.
So we did check back. So you're all right. No, that's good. Well, it's good. You had different options, It's good to.
My trick always is if you say all 3 options, you're always right.
Yeah.
You can't be wrong.
What do you reckon this other bloke's got? Have we had the thoughts of that yet? No?
I mean, it's kind of hard to define his the range of hands you'd put him on.
Because he's literally just defended a
just
big
called.
one, right? He could have anything, yeah.
He's small blind, but
small blind, yeah.
it's a wide enough range. He can have a lot of suited hands, which includes combination of clubs. He can have Jack 10, probably like 6-5 suited, maybe even like King 9 suited as well. So plenty of hands that beat us, but two pair looks pretty good with a club redraw.
So we'll see here. We'll see what Martin does. What would you do there?
Wait to see see what the action is first.
Well, if he checks, I'm definitely betting the turn as Martin, probably for a bigger size, like 2/3 to pot-ish.
All right, we'll see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the Brazilian chap does.
We're praying not to get check raise.
Check, he does check. Okay, so
we're going
as predicted.
About 500k.
Yeah, 450 to pot, I think would be appropriate.
Yeah.
We'll see what Martin does. This is Martin Finger, everyone. Oh, he checked it.
Interesting.
So
maybe just recognizing that the board really connects with small blind and that getting check raised and then jammed on the river is really uncomfortable.
You played Martin Finger live much at all? You would have.
A little bit. I mean, we don't know each other too well, but we've played a few times.
Yeah.
A few times online as well, so we know each other a little bit.
Okay, we'll see what the Brazilian chap does here.
I think the check would mostly be because of ICM, right? And you don't want to, but.
Right, so it's been checked to on the river there.
All right. Well, if he checks back river, I'm gonna just leave the podcast. He needs to bet now. It's not a great river, but two pair bets at some point. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think he's got a bet too. Yeah. I probably.
What are we betting? What are we betting?
2/3 to pot.
I would have bet every street because, like, the games I play, you just make a hand, you just bet it, right? Like, there's none of this fancy.
Hard to make a pair and hold them.
Yeah,
hard to make a pair and hold them.
The low stakes stuff that I play, you make a hand, you're just getting paid. So you got a pair, bet. Got 2 pair, bet. 3 pair, bet. Flush bet. All right, what does Martin do?
He's going to bet and get check jammed on, I'd say. Otherwise,
if he checks back, you're losing the pot.
Yeah, I'm hanging up.
Come on, Martin.
Please bet.
All
right. Yeah, beautiful. That's fine.
All right. Now,
in my opinion,
let's see what the Brazilian does here.
Yeah.
You got a call, pay him off.
It'll be all the chips, I imagine. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here analyzing this.
Yeah, probably right. You've seen through it. You've seen right through it.
He's too smart.
Oh, it's not all the chips.
Oh dear, we're in trouble.
Yeah, what do we reckon the other guy's got now? Has he got it?
I mean, it seems kind of unnatural to find too many bluffs here. I know this guy's going to be very capable. Maybe something like a Queen Jack offsuit with a club type one might be a good hand to bluff. I don't see too many bluffs here, to be honest.
Is there anything he's overvaluing? Like, obviously, you have 2 pair there.
No, I'd say the value range hasn't smoked. So we've just got a bluff catcher at this point. And to be honest, I don't think we've got the best bluff catcher. I don't think the King of Clubs is the most relevant card of the world. It obviously helps, but he's not just repping a flush; he's repping straights, probably sets as well. So I'd probably fold this one, but I'm also the kind of guy where if this happens to me in real life, I'm never folding. So I couldn't judge either way.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult because this type of poker is very different to what any of us play. Really,
it's very high level. Yeah,
I mean maybe Troy, but Troy watches this stuff all the time. All right, let's see what Martin does. See if he folds.
So you're folding.
See if he goes all in.
I'm folding. Maybe like 6s and 10s are some decent bluffs.
Pocket 6s and pocket 10s.
It's hard to find too many. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Maybe like a 10-8 suited, 10-9 suited would be kind of good ones to use as a bluff. But I mean, you kind of want a club in your hand to bluff. So
you fucking nailed it.
Reckon?
One of the hands you said he's got.
Really?
Wow.
All right. Time.
Yeah, literally. We need time banks, just like in the Centurion. Yeah, there you go. Sixes.
Sixes with the
Sixes
club.
with a six of clubs.
That's a very good bluff and a very, very good call. So well done to Mum.
Have to, yeah, no, it's good. We'll have to ask people, see what people think about that.
If
doing
you
a bit of
actually
a hand
want,
analysis.
if you actually watch that episode, my mate Eric is on there. He's commentating, and he actually calls the exact hand that he has. He goes, "I think it's just sixes with the six of clubs." That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah,
It's a very good read.
It's interesting. Nathaniel picked that up too, so that's good. That's good. He's.
I thought that was a very, very interesting hand because on the river, I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "You could have so many bluffs here," but then like, these guys are just good enough to turn like fives and sixes with a club indoor bluff, tens indoor bluff, and then he's
we might just do one more quick one if you don't mind. This one probably won't require too much analysis, but we'll see. I'd like to hear it.
Have we all seen this hand as well? Oh God! All right.
Here it is.
None of these guys have seen this hand, Nathaniel. So
I
want you to talk us through this hand. Okay, so at the moment we'll just pick up the action. Looks like Josh Foster. This is the Centurion up at the Ville just recently. Josh Foster has opened +3, like sort of mid.
So I raised +1 and he's 3 bet me. I remember the hand.
Okay. Oh, you right. Yeah. So you're +1. You opened.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm in the hand. Yeah.
You'd be best to tell us what's going on then.
Yeah, so we're final table of Centurion. I think it was top 5 in the money, so we're not that close. Foz and I are some of the deeper stacks at the table. I don't think we're 1 and 2, but we're close. Maybe we are 1 and 2, like 1 and 3, something like that. So I raise, and my raise could potentially be a little bit loose. I'm not certain. It feels okay, but it's very line ball. Maybe it's like 9-8 suited. I should be opening and not 9-7. I get 3 bet, but I guess I just decide that 75 bigs deep or 70 bigs deep or whatever we are, a little bit too strong to fold a suited hand.
Well, let's just play it because we'll see. It looks like it says you've got 18. You got to put another 18k into call, which you do.
Yeah. Also, one thing. This is a very small 3 bet in my opinion in like an ICM environment. We actually spoke about the hand later that night, and both of us were like, we've got no idea what's happening in this kind of ICM land. So we're both kind of guessing, but I think his 3 bet's good as a hand selection.
Yeah, and he sort of picked up too that you're probably, being one of the better players at the table, you're going to just be opening aces under the gun, right? You're going to have these 9-7 suited, which is completely fine, but you're finding every single one of the opens, right? Not just you're not.
Yeah, so I mean it's a good 3 bet because hands like
bet.
ace 10 offsuit, ace jack offsuit, I'm probably going to have to consider folding. So that's the type of hands he's trying to target that I'm opening.
What do you think of this flop, Troy? Kathy, pretty good.
That is a mental flop.
Above
That
average.
is a mental flop.
Do you want to guess now? Put it back, and what do you reckon? What do you reckon Nathaniel does here, Troy? Kathy, quick.
I think he's going to check.
Check. Obviously, check.
Obviously check. You got to check. Yeah.
Yep.
You're obviously checking.
Foz might even check here. Actually, I don't know if he'll. But
Why would he have a donk? And
What's
then,
Foz
and
doing?
then
no,
Foz is going to.
Of course, Nathaniel checks. He's not donkey.
no. I'm talking about Foz. I said Foz
Oh.
might even check back his weak ace, but
No.
I'd say he would bet in a 3 bet.
Yeah, he's going to bet.
Yeah. So it looks like he's bet.
And- How much?
He's bet really small, 18k.
18k.
It's about a quarter, isn't it?
Seems
Pretty
fine.
small.
Yeah.
So do we
1-4.
just flat or do we go for a check raise,
We
Nathaniel?
never got to bump it up.
Let's see what Nathaniel does. What do you reckon he's done, Kathy?
I mean, look,
He's reaching. He's not folding.
it's not great to check raise an ace high board like when you've been through bet. That's never a vibe.
If he folds,
But
I'm
the
leaving the
same-
podcast.
Yeah, obviously he's not
You're
folding.
safe. You're safe.
He's not folding. I'm just saying, is he check raising or is he just gonna flat? Like
Get off the fence. What do you reckon?
I'm check raising every day.
Yeah.
Like 65.
just
Check
this
raise?
year, I don't know.
Check
I'm gonna
raise.
go for
All right.
the
Let's
check raise.
let's say he
Check
won the
raise.
Centurion.
3.5x. No, 4x.
I'm a coward.
Just called. Just called.
You called.
I like it.
I think this would be an absolutely fine one to raise. I think one concern I had was that the ace was a club, so that he can still have ace x of diamonds, which I'm just kind of drawing dead against. So pot controlling
You
against
got
the
a great
times
flush draw.
I'm dead was like something I was considering. I'm also recognizing that we are 1 and 2. Check raising again still very viable, but
He's the only guy that covers you. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know if I want to be stacking off, even if this looks like such a strong flop for
it's
me.
a pretty good
so,
spot for you, the table.
So you want to
Yeah,
see
but
your equity through.
I'm
You wanna,
calling with the
yeah.
idea of potentially bluffing future streets, but
Yeah.
All right,
wanting a
let's
bit
see
of
it.
pot control.
Let's see a turn card. See what comes out.
It was a good one.
Oh,
Oh,
lovely.
baby.
Oh, what's that noise, Troy?
Now, if you fold here, Nathaniel, I'm leaving the podcast.
We've already missed it. Nathaniel's check to him, which is pretty
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah, I would
You know
never
what's gonna
leave here.
happen. So what's Josh going to do here?
Bet.
I think Josh should check now.
Check.
I can say for sure I was check raising this one if he bets.
I mean, look, he's got an ace with also the 4, which.
What about the? Would you bet your ace here for protection? I've heard that before. No.
Not for protection, but like
You
I
got to
don't
protect
know,
from
like,
the protect from the flush, don't you?
No.
All right. All right, now listen
If
to me.
Nathaniel calls, he's got
a fish. I'm a
better
fish.
hand than.
the only reason I like his hand is because he's got the 4, and the 4's got the bottom end of the straight.
He's checked
but
it back.
anyway.
All right. He's checked it back. Okay, we get to see a free river. King of clubs. Well predicted. Got a good memory.
I was there. Yeah. I remember what comes out.
Now, let's see what Nathaniel does here. What do you reckon?
You got to bet.
Bet? What do you reckon, Troy? How much, Kathy? There's
The
111k
only
in the
reason I'm
pot.
saying that is because
Okay.
I'm thinking about what you were saying before, Nathaniel, about how like Josh and you are probably not going to want to stack off here, right? And
4x
so
pot.
I'm thinking like if you don't bet, maybe you're just going to get a check behind. And that's you don't want to risk getting a check behind. And the only other problem is as well is that if he bets small, and you check raise, you're not going to get called off either. So betting is not a bad idea because it allows Josh to raise you, or it also blocks him from just checking behind. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I'm not a professional. I'm just going to shush.
Yeah,
Cool. How much would you bet though, Kathy? How much would you bet?
What's the pot? 111k. I'm going to go 60.
60? What about you, Troy? What do you reckon?
if I'm going to bet, I would bet like
What would you do?
90 to 100k, or maybe
Are you
even
going pot?
You can overbet. You can even overbet pot.
Are you ever checking?
Sometimes check, yeah.
Alright.
Depending if Josh is capable of finding enough bluffs, but
All right, we'll
I
see what
probably
Nathaniel does.
bet after.
I would say he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All I can say is I wish I was Kathy in this hand because she's described the situation pretty well.
Oh,
And you haven't seen the hand yet, have you, Kathy?
no, this is my first time.
Actually, I've seen it. You're dealing.
What?
She is not dealing. She was
you're
not
not
at this
dealing?
series.
Wasn't there?
You would. Oh, you weren't dealing this one. No. I saw you dealing the Centurion down in Sydney.
Does he check behind? No, please.
Yep.
Nah,
one
he
check.
can't check behind.
So Nathaniel's checked it to him.
I think it's a good check with it being Foz.
No, I know it would be a good check, but this is the fear. This is why I
No.
want to bet.
I mean, find Nathaniel.
Yeah. Well.
Oh.
And Josh has checked it back.
Yeah.
And I get wrecked.
Where's the rest of the pot?
Yeah, I mean, not my finest moment. To be honest, I don't think I misplayed the hand or anything. I recognize that a lot of his hands around the ace X that will 3-bet for value, like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, doesn't want to play for stacks, so they're not necessarily going to bet.
I think that's it because there's 9 left.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money up top, and there's a lot of spot for you because like the table, there's you're in a good spot with this table, I think too.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are plenty of hands that can go for value on this type of on this river. He's got kings as well. He's got good ace X. So I think people don't recognize the importance of balance enough in the sense of like a lot of people just check, and as soon as they check, it's just only weak hands, and then they kind of get to this spot where like they bet, and it's it becomes very tough. Obviously, planning on check raising if you bet. Was disappointed in game to see him check back that one. I think it's reasonable enough. It's like not too many worse hands I can call with, but obviously a bit disappointing when you got the nuts.
I don't mind the check because it's Foz, but When he checks the turns, probably more.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he bet turn, check that bloody river.
Well,
but, like,
that's why you're the pro, Troy. Fair enough.
No, that was just like I think out of the whole table, if you're going to check the river to anyone, it'd be Foz, 100%.
For sure.
Interesting.
But after he checked turn, I probably prefer to bet river for value. And he has to call with ace 4, I think.
I don't think he would fold if I bet a reasonable size, but if I go like pot, maybe he makes a hero fold.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
feel like
we'll never know.
I think he still has to
We'll never
fold.
know.
I call for pot, I think probably. How did that end up playing out? Because you won, right? He had all the chips at that point, and then
Yeah, he ran pretty bad, to be honest. When it came to in the money, we got it all in personally. My King Queen versus Ace King, and I won that. And then he just got completely shafted on a hand. He got Queens in versus King Jack for like 30 or 40 bigs, and
I remember seeing that hand. Yeah,
flop top set, and didn't win the hand. So pretty sad outcome for him for sure.
Well, we all know who won, and that was Nathaniel. So well done, number 3, and that trophy's right behind him there over his shoulder. So
Thank you.
Can you see this? Can you see this on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got a quick guessing game I want you to do for me. Okay.
Ooh.
As a guess, I just want you to. Have you played that game where you've got to guess the logo?
No.
The logo game. I've just got one logo. I want to see if you can guess it.
Yeah,
All
I know.
There's the first clue.
APT.
APT.
TT, yeah.
APT.
Yeah.
Incorrect. Another clue.
What?
Another clue. Do you want another clue? I'll give you.
It's APT.
Like
Is
Australian
this
poker tour.
that new poker room? I don't know.
Oh no, it's not. It's not the Melbourne. No.
I'll give you another clue. I'll give you another clue. See if you can guess it.
If it's not APT, I'm leaving this podcast.
Don't say that.
Oh, Australian Poker Nights. Oh my god, it is the Melbourne room.
Oh.
You're joking.
That's
It looks similar to APT. Wow.
It does look slightly
It's not
similar. I thought.
similar. It's the same. That
Just
is
thought
the
I'd-
same. It's got a kangaroo in the A, and it's now an N instead of a T. That is the same logo.
Yeah. Well, they sort of popped up on Facebook and Instagram this recently too, and I thought, oh, what's Tony Hasham up to? And I sort of just sent him a message, and he rang me, and he's like, yeah, I found out about this today, and I'm not too happy about it, Craig. So I've got nothing to do with it. So it's nothing to do with Australian Poker Tour, apparently, and that's confirmed. And yeah, anyway, so it's another room apparently based in Melbourne.
Yeah,
I had a look, and
It's got a room. It's got a door charge, doesn't it?
yeah, so I had a look into it. There's a poker room opening at the Ellison or something, I believe, in Melbourne. It's a nightclub or something. And I mean, look, to be honest, I'm not sure if the Ellison know anything about it or if they've ever heard of the Australian Poker Tour or whatever. But anyway, yeah, looks like it was scheduled for November 9, I think, the first game, but that's obviously passed now. So the first game was now scheduled for the 1st of December. They said they had a few little issues they had to tidy up. Maybe they need to redo their logo. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a 400 plus 100 game, $400, $500 entry, $100 is the cover charge, which includes 2 free drinks. So
What if you rebuy?
Not sure. You probably have to. You might have to leave the venue and come back in and pay the entry fee again. I think the cover charge again.
Crazy.
I'm not sure. But anyway,
yeah, I want to know more about that. I'm very intrigued to know more about the actual happenings of it. So if
I'd put that in there, it's something that come up recently. Yeah. And you got the answer right eventually. It wasn't definitely not APT. It didn't look anything like that. I know what you're talking about. All right. Getting up to the end of the start wrapping up the podcast. So one other thing I do want to mention is, I'm not sure if you remember last year, the Australian Poker Schedule ran the Fans Choice Awards, which was sort of quite popular, did pretty well, but it was last minute. And, it wasn't really a fair nomination process, and the voting process was it was pretty fair, but it wasn't, perfect, because people, I guess, could vote multiple times, etc. We saw Malcolm Traynor get Player of the Year. We saw Taylor Pickles get Deer of the Year. We saw Jinxie get nothing. He was nominated for the Commentator of the Year, but he didn't win. And look, it was a bit of fun, but it was the whole point of it was to sort of reward some people that, mainly the dealers and TDs and staff and that don't get a lot of recognition. So I can report we're going to be doing that again through the Australian Poker Schedule. I've just updated the site recently. I'm still working on that. If you do want to nominate someone, you can start nominating now by emailing the Australian Poker Schedule or on Facebook and Instagram. Send through your nomination. I'm going to put the categories up first. So most of the categories are the same as last year, but there will be Australian Player of the Year, Female Player of the Year, Young Gun of the Year, TD of the Year, and there will also be TD and dealer for local as well, and non-dealers. So there are a few of the categories, just as a snippet, but stay tuned to the Australian Poker Schedule website. I'm going to be putting all that stuff up in the next week or so, and that'll be a lot of fun. And the plan is to have a live awards night similar to the Brownlow medal. All right. And
very exciting.
I can't reveal the venue just yet, but there's a high chance it's going to be in Queensland, around the Gold Coast or Brisbane area, around the APL PT on the Gold Coast in January. So we're going to try and tee it up then, so that any of the dealers and players and staff that are around can come to that event. We'll be invite only the nominees, which will probably be 100 of. We'll be going to this venue. We're going to try and put on a thing. And the goal is we don't want any of the dealers and TDs to have to contribute to it. So we're going to try and fund some money. So there might be a way of donating towards that cause, get some sponsors on as well. But it'll be live streamed as well on the Australian Poker Schedule YouTube. So stay tuned to the Australian Poker Schedule for that, and that should be a lot of fun. Nomination process will be November, voting process December, and the awards night in January. So get ready for that. Also, just quickly, Newcastle Kings, that's currently on at the moment. That goes till the end of the next week, I believe. They've got some good series, and there's mid stakes, and the rake is quite reasonable too. I think they do 210 plus 40. They do 360 plus 40 and 400, something like that. So check out them. And Newcastle is a great place to visit on the East Coast, just north of Sydney. There's some great dealers and TDs down there. I know my wife's there, so shout out to her and the guys down there that have travelled for that. And also I wanted to shout out to Queen Bees, who is a room in between the Gold Coast and Brisbane. I've been there, and the tables and chairs look fantastic. Any thoughts about that? Have you seen the advertising for that, Kathy, Troy?
I love it.
Have you played there yet?
I think we posted last week that was like the rake was actually unbelievably good. I can't even remember where I seen it. It was Do you know what the post was, Craig?
I might put up the post quickly because I want to wrap up the podcast. But
I haven't played there yet, but literally the fact that we have an independent poker brand, it does so good for the game, because he doesn't have to he's doing it for himself, and he doesn't have to for the shareholders or anything like that, and he actually understands what players want. He's doing so much good for the workers as well. He's actually paying a very, very good wage, and the fact that the rake is great, it's just phenomenal. And I have to give a massive shout out to Morgan for doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, so Morgan, he's a former TD or dealer with I think Australian Poker League and a few others. And he still works for them as well, on the side casually. But he's basically saved a lot of pennies since he's been working in poker and everything. And I actually went to the venue before they opened, and literally Morgan was there with sandpaper in his hand and scrubbing walls and putting down carpet and all that sort of stuff, all the prep work. They actually found this venue, they've actually gutted it, and they've done dedicated it perfectly set up for poker. They've got lounges and chairs, the tables and that are all 15 tables, and The chairs are like embroidered, comfortable, like better than the casino even. Like, you know, so he's done a lot of things. The prices and the rakes, unbelievable too. Like, I think I saw one that's like just like 100 plus 10. Like, what's that? You heard of that before?
You can't beat it in the market.
It can't be real. It's got to be fake.
No.
500 plus 50, 300 plus 50, and those are all dealt. So I think the 100 plus 10 is obviously not dealt. Self-dealt. They've got a lot of self-dealt. They've got stuff for everyone basically. So
you know what the crazy thing is about that is how can he do that as a private, you know, that's a small little poker room that's charging what, 5% rate, 10% rate, whatever.
Paying really good rates for his workers and still managing to charge a rate like that. So.
Yep. So shout out to Queen Bees. Queenbees.poker, I believe, is their website. Check them out. You can also find them on my website, AustralianPokerSchedule.com.au. I have seen Troy wearing a Poker Pulse hoodie. So quick shout out to Project Sunrun. Check out Project Sunrun on Instagram if you want to get a hoodie. And also subscribe. It's free, rake free. We do it for no rake. So we give you rake back, but we can't because we don't take any. So other than that, guys, I want to thank Nathaniel once again.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been a blast.
Yeah, your insights, son, everything, even to talk about the APL and other stuff, very, very wise words, and yeah, really appreciate it. All the best. And we do have this thing called Poker Pulse Run Good. We find with all our guests, generally after they've been on the show, in the next couple of weeks, they usually win something. In your case, I hope it wasn't when you accepted to come on and then you got the luck. I mean, maybe that was it.
Any way luck comes, I'm happy to take it. I'm not.
Hopefully on Monday.
hopefully you beat it. You outbeat it next time, or you go to Vegas next year and you beat Malcolm and you get the chest, the gold chest in the actual live.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
So, all right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, guys.
See you later. Cheers. Bye.
See you later.